Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Tiles group in the Timesavers 2 tab of the Timesavers add-in. So the Tiles group allows you to add tiles of numbers or letters. If you want to do letters, you have a choice between lowercase letters and uppercase letters. If you want to do numbers, then you would need to select what range you want to create tiles for and the interval that you want to be counting in. The default is 1, and the range, the default, is 1 to 10. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, first of all, when you create tiles, you have a few options. You can just create straight away. So if I just click on this button straight away, it will use the selection that I've made over here. So if I click on the button, it will insert, in this case, lowercase letters from A to Z. Okay, so if I don't do anything specific before creating the tiles or have anything selected before creating the tiles, then it will just put in generic tiles using your default shape that you have on your in PowerPoint, and it will then put in those tiles. Okay, so then if I choose uppercase letters instead and I click on that, then I'll get all my uppercase letters from A to Z. Okay, and then once you have, so let me just redo that. So once you have got those, you would then be able to go and format them. You would be able to change the colors and everything that you want to. Okay, and then obviously you've got the number option as well. So in this case, it's going to do 1 to 10, counting by ones. So that's what I've got over there. But I can also change this. I can make it 21 to 30, counting by ones, and then I'm going to get those numbers. Or I can change it to 1 to 100, counting by twos. Now, please be aware that it will start on the number that you select over here. So if you insert 1 as your starting number, it will count by twos starting with 1. So you're going to have all your odd numbers then. So if I click on that, you'll see that I get 1, 3, 5, 7. So the first number that I have over here is the first number that will appear over here. So it's not going to do multiples of 2 necessarily. If I wanted to do multiples of 2, I would need to make this from 2 to 100. And then I would get the multiples of 2. So just be aware of that. If you are doing the numbers and you're wanting to create tiles with a specific interval, you need to make sure that you are starting the range on the right number. Okay, so that is how it works if you are just creating generic tiles. However, you can also create tiles with pre-existing shapes or with pre-existing pictures that you have on your slide. So if you want to have tiles, let me just go and insert a couple of shapes. So I'm going to insert a shape over here, and I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to put in, I'm going to change it to orange, and I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to change it to yellow. So I can have more than one selected, and then when I create the tiles will be made using those ones that I've selected in a recurring pattern in the order that I selected them. So if I create my tiles now, you'll see that I have blue, orange, yellow, blue, orange, yellow, blue, orange, yellow, and so on. So you can select as many shapes as you would like to, up to the total that you are of tiles that you are creating. And if you select fewer than that, it will just repeat the ones that you've selected in a recurring pattern. So you can create tiles using your own shapes as the base. You can also create tiles using pictures. So I'm just going to remove those. So if you have pictures that you want to make into tiles, so say I want to make tiles out of this picture over here. So what I'm going to do is I will go over here and I will click on that. And now you can see that it has created tiles using the picture that I already had. So the way it did that is it detects that there's a picture there and it puts a text box on top of the picture, because it obviously can't add text to a picture itself. Okay, so it adds a text box on top of that picture and then groups them together. So here you've got all of your tiles with the different numbers on them. Okay, you can also, obviously, if in this case I made it quite big, so I could have made it a lot smaller, and then when I create it, I might need to go and change the font size because it might not work so well. So you can, once you've done that, you can then change the font size, you can adjust the margins if you need to make sure that the text is where you want it on the tile. Okay, so in this case, I would change the font size. I would go over here and I would make it smaller so that it all fits, and then it fits nicely. If I was wanting my font to be up at the top of the tile or at the bottom, I would change the alignment. If I was wanting it to be a little bit higher, I could do that by changing the formatting over here. I would, text options. So I would go into the text options and I would go over here and I would change the margins. So if I needed to make sure that it would be higher up but not all the way at the top, then I could make the margins slightly different and so on. So you can play around with it like that. Okay, so it's also possible to create them using more than one picture, just like we could for the shapes. So if I do that, and I just select all of them, then when I create over here my tiles, it will automatically duplicate them in the pattern again. So you can make as many tiles as you want, and you can have the different bases using pictures or shapes that you have selected. And that is how you use the tiles group in the Timesavers 2 tab of the Timesavers add-in. I hope that has been helpful, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you. Goodbye.